Hello, everybody. It's Bill Walker, the Gambling Astrologer. I wanted to show you a couple things about the stock market that I think are interesting. Um, Let me take a look here. Hopefully, you all can see my screen. So, one of the things that a lot of people that use, a lot of traders in the stock market, they use Fibonacci, but they're not aware that Fibonacci is based on astrology. If you take the synodic period of Venus, I've got this little simple document up. Synodic period of Venus is the successive conjunctions of Venus and the Sun from the vantage point of Earth, and that cycle is 584 days. If we compare that to the 365 days of the Earth cycle and the simple 225-day orbit of Venus, it's interesting that Earth forms a Fibonacci ratio to both of these. If you take 584, 365, and 225, it's basically a 1.618 and 0.382 ratio, which is the golden ratio of Fibonacci. Um, Venus basically in astrology represents value, what we value. And of course, the stock market is the valuation of what these stocks are supposedly worth. And Earth is we measure time from the vantage point of Earth. So one of the things that I found, there's a couple of really interesting things that I found in the market trends, but I want to show you this other. Okay, um, the market bottomed in October 13th of 2022, and SPY, which is roughly 10% of it's an index that's 10% of the S&P 500. It was at 348. So that means the S&P 500 was about 3,480. Okay, and that bottom was on October 13th of 2022. We had a high, it peaked, we had a high on December 13th, 2022 at 410. And that's right here at this first peak. Now, it took 61 days from October 13th, and it moved up 62 points. That's obviously a one-to-one ratio of price and time. We're going to see that in this, we're looking at rise over run. We're looking at how many points that the SPY index moved for how many days and the ratio between the two. And we'll note that it's often, almost always, either Fibonacci or thirds and halves in a lot of cases 0.333 exactly. Here we got a one-to-one ratio, and one is one of the fib ratio numbers there. On February 2nd, 2023, we had a high of 418, and that was 42 days. That was 112 days, sorry, total from the bottom. And it moved up 70.2 points. And if we run that in our calculators, 0.72 or 0.70 or 70.2. Seventy point two divided by 112, almost 0.618, 0.626, a Fibonacci ratio, and the market turned. We look at July 27th, 2023. That was another high. 459 was the high. 459.44. Market has moved up 111.3 points in 287 days. If we go 111.3 and we divide that by 287.387, there again, Fibonacci ratio between price and time. Now, this last major high, March 28th, we had a 524 high on the SPY, and that's 176 and a half points in 531 days. 176.5 points divided by 531 days since the low, 0.3323, right almost 0.3333. Um, but here's something also really interesting. The numerology of the market is really funny. And I find the numerology often always goes back to major highs and major lows. And a lot of people that teach WD Gann philosophies teach this, and they teach the numerology of things. And one thing that I've been looking at is, I'm going to try to pull this up. If we look at the number of days since the 2009 bottom, um, we're going to notice that it's been since today, 5,604 days since the March 6, 2009 bottom when when the S&P 500 was at 666, interestingly enough. But look at the S&P 500 and where it is price-wise. S&P 500. The high today was 55.90. Again, it's been 5604 days since the bottom in March 2009. If I take this ratio and plug it in, and let's say that we have, let's say on Friday, we had a high of 560 on the SPY. And that would mean the S&P would be right at 5,600. It would actually be a little bit higher. So it would hit that number. It would have moved up 212 points in 636 days. If we divide 212 by 636, we're going to get exactly 0.3333 repeating. Exact. So what you would have here is not only the number of days since the 2009 bottom to now equaling the price of SPY, but you'd also have that exact 0.333 ratio, which is a key ratio that may indicate a turn. Given a couple of other astrological factors, I think it might be a good time to short SPY right at the end of this week. There's a Venus-Pluto opposition that's going to hit the NASDAQ chart exact. Another thing going on in the astrology of the NASDAQ, which is interesting, and we'll take a look here. Pull this up. Got all this shit on here. And here is the NASDAQ chart, and I got the progressions up. And the progressed moon is getting extremely close to the very bottom here, the nadir of the chart. And that's a key point. And it being on the bottom is also a representative of what could be a turn. So anyway, look for that. I'm going to buy some puts on SPY probably on Thursday, and I had some various strikes and expirations. And anyway, I'm not one that's trying to give any advice. I'm just trying to point out some interesting things and what I'm going to gamble on personally. Anyway, best of luck to all of you.